Listen up, kid. We have a very important mission here today. Today, we are going to be planning out a heist. So, exactly 1 year from now, we are all going to be flying to England to meet up with Scott because we are going to be heisting the crown of England. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Devin, why the crown of England? Why is that what we're heisting? Well, I have a very important reason for it. You see, Scott and I have reason to believe that within the crown of England lies the location, or at least a clue to the location of the Fountain of Youth. So, we're going to need to get the crown to confirm this suspicion. But the England government's not just going to hand it over. And to protect this great secret, we are going to have to steal it for ourselves. We will return it after we get the location, of course. We don't want anything happening to it. It's a unique piece of history. But we do need that location, so we are going to have to temporarily borrow it. So here's how it's going to go down. Like I said, 1 year from now, we're all going to meet up there. Then, when we all get there, we have a very specific procedure for getting the crown of England. So first, we were going to go have lunch. I'm thinking a nice place to get some spaghetti. I'm sure there's got to be some place in Britain where you can get spaghetti. That's good. 2, we're going to meet up outside the building after hours. And that's why we have Tony. Tony is going to punch out those guards. Now, it shouldn't be too big of a deal, because as we all know, those British Imperial Guards, they can't move. They just stand there all stone-like. So, Tony should be able to give him the 1-2 and just knock him out. Super easy. That's when Chris is going to come through. Chris is going to use all his hacker skills to hack into the system to turn off all the alarms. Then, that is when Vinny will come in. Vinny is driving a nice car, and we have to have a good car to get away with after the mission. But we have to see him pull up first so that we know that there's actually a car that's going to be able to pick us up, because once we get the crown, there's inevitably going to be a complication. So, next, we are going to have Chris come around and help us. So, Chris is here for a very important reason as well. Morale boosting. It's going to be late at night. We're all going to be tired. Tummy's full of spaghetti. We're going to be tired. We need someone to bring the energy. Chris is very charismatic. He's really funny. He should definitely do stand-up. And I keep telling him he needs to do stand-up. And he'll keep us joking and laughing and having fun during the heist. Because if we're not having fun during the heist, no one's going to want to be there. And people might just fall asleep on the floor of the museum or wherever the fuck this crown is. So, that's actually, I did reveal a bit of piece of information that I probably shouldn't have. I don't actually know where the crown is at the moment. But I'm sure that we have a year to figure that out. And once we do know where it's at, it'll be super easy to get. Surely it'll be super easy to get. Surely this will not be a super guarded, relic. But, so once we have the crown, that is when we are going to have Samantha come in. Samantha is going to carefully, and I mean carefully, open up the seams of the purple top part that looks all floofy, because within there should be the secret. Now, we don't know exactly what it looks like, so we're going to have to dig around a little bit. But, when we are all done looking for the secret and we have the information we need, that's when Tiffany will come in. Because unlike Samantha, who's good at opening up these very careful pieces, Tiffany is very good at putting the pieces back together. Are you following? Then, once we have the information we need, we are going to go celebrate. We are going to go to a nice restaurant, maybe some place that serves some nice tacos. And we're just gonna chill out for a bit, have fun. Everyone's only allowed 2 drink maximum because we are not rich. We're not finding the Fountain of Youth for profit. But it'll still be fun. We'll have a great time. You can't bring family. This is kind of a heist only kind of group dinner. There will be appetizers, and depending on how we're all feeling, there might be dessert after, so keep that in mind. Don't eat too much of the dinner section because there might be dessert after. We'll kind of decide on the day. We'll see how people are feeling about it. Because, we don't want to order a bunch of desserts and then nobody eats it and then we're just wasting food and look like a bunch of jackasses. We don't want that. So, when we find the location, we have the clues to lead us to the right location. Hopefully there's not another clue after that, because otherwise we're going to have to set things back and we won't be able to find the Fountain of Youth until probably 3 years from now. But once we have the location, that's when things are going to get real interesting. Because, now this is very important, if part of the plan is, we are going to be following the routine that they had in Pirates of the Caribbean 4. Now, if you haven't seen that movie, that's part of the preparation for the heist here. You have to see the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, because we need to understand how the Fountain of Youth actually works. So, if you have watched that, you know that we need a mermaid's tear, and we need the goblet specifically. So, once we have gotten the Crown of England, extracted the clue from it, figured out the location of the Fountain of Youth, we then need to find a mermaid, which is where Terry is going to come into use here, because Terry has a nice boat that can carry at least 5 of us. And we're going to go out to sea and find the mermaid. Now, that is where Johnson is going to come into play, because Johnson is really good at fishing. So he should be able to get enough lure to get the mermaid onto the boat with us. Then we are going to hopefully have someone there who can make the mermaid cry. Now, I don't actually have someone who makes people cry just yet, but we'll figure that out. We have a year to plan this, guys. And we're currently planning now, but there's going to be more improv as we go along, because as everyone knows in heists, you can't just plan everything out, because something's always going to go wrong. So we're planning ahead and saying things are already going to go wrong, and that's why we're not going to plan that part now, because then we don't have to deal with that part going wrong, because instead we already make it go wrong because we don't actually have the current pieces. Are you following? So, once we have all of those things together, we have the mermaid's tear, we have the clue to where the Fountain of Youth is, then all we have to do is get the goblet. Now, for this, things are going to get a little tricky. We are going to have to get in contact with my friend Tom. Tom has been working on a way to go back in time. If we go back in time to the time when what the fuck was his name? Juan Ponce de Leon was going around trying to find the fountain, he should presumably have the goblet. Now, when he gets the goblet, that is when we're going to talk to my friend Jimbo. And maybe Jimbo can also speak Spanish. Then he should be able to talk to that Juan Ponce de Leon to figure out where the goblet is. And that is when we'll have Tony come in and punch Juan Ponce de Leon, get the goblet. We'll travel back in time with Tom's time machine. We'll have the mermaid's tear. We'll have the location of the Fountain of Youth. Then all we'll have to do is trick Scott into drinking one of the goblets and have me drink the other one, so that I gain all the years that Scott has and I live even longer. And then it'll be just that easy.